What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? It's your boy Enlightened Luciferian Prince coming at y'all once again. Welcome. Thank you for viewing my channel. Welcome again. This is probably going to be the only upload I do today because it's been a heck of a week. And for the most part, I tell people all the time, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. If you've seen the movie The Shining, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But that's neither here nor there. If you're watching this video around children, please remove them from your immediate vicinity as my videos are not for children. Simple as that. This also does not constitute legal advice. The sole purpose of my channel is for informational and educational purposes only. As I always tell people on my channel, I love to read. Now, let us talk about something that for a better part of about 2 weeks, a lot of people have been asking me about the situation. And I know that it's a lot to unpack for all intents and purposes, but I know things happen on a case-by-case basis. But I'm going to simplify it because at the heart of the matter, what I'm going to discuss is that it's all relative on the same basis and same notion. So without further ado, let's cook. Now, the title of this video is going to be called Foreclosure and Loan Fraud. Now, again, foreclosure and loan fraud are one and of the same. Now, I'm going to walk down the basis of foreclosure and the basis of the actual loan itself, which is securities fraud, and just give you the basics of the schematics on how this fraud actually works. But I'm going to go from the root of it. Now, in regards to a mortgage even being established, there has to be a consumer credit transaction, i.e., you, the signer, loan your signature and your credit to an application. As I said in the previous video before, according to Code of Federal Regulations, according to Title 27, it turns into a consumer credit transaction. In other words, it's a transferable action. You loan your signature to the purported so-called real estate agent, and then they convert your application into a financial asset. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about it. Let me find it for you. Oh, wait, let me see. It's 36 point. I should have had this pulled up, but I like to do it in real time sometimes, so bear with me. Also, grab a pen and paper for this. In regards to this, grab a pen and paper. Now, this is 38 Code of Federal Regulations, subsection 36.4283, foreclosure or repossession, right? I want you to start here. Upon receipt by the Secretary of notice of a judicial or statutory sale or other public sale under power of sale contained in the loan instruments to liquidate any security for a guaranteed loan, the Secretary may specify in advance of such sale the minimum amount which shall be credited to the indebtedness of the borrower on the account of the value of the security to be sold, subject to the provisions of paragraph A1, 2, 3, 4 of this section. Pause. I need you individuals to understand what that just said. It's just what I said in layman's terms prior to reading this. Now, I know in legalese it might not plainly say what I just said in layman's terms, but in reality, the security to be sold. Remember I told you it was about securities fraud? Okay, why is this fraud? Because upon your signature on the documentation, i.e. application, to be approved prior to the close of the sale, they sold a promissory note. A promissory note, according to commercial law, only has a lifespan of 9 months. So there's no way they can be a holder in due course after the termination of the 9-month period. You see what I'm saying? So in reality, the loan secured the actual purchase of the house, but you were defrauded because you were never fully aware from the inception of the contract that you had a right to rescind. You were never aware of that. So I know a lot of people may feel trapped. They might feel like, well, I signed it. What am I going to do? And so forth. I'm telling you right now, follow me closely and listen to this video. I'm walking you down for general information purposes only, the succinct path of how this is fraud and how you can get your remedy. Now, let us go further into 12 United States Code 83. 12 USC 83, right? Now check this out. This is why I told you they never loaned you anything. But don't take my word for it. Let's go to the law. 12 United States Code, pardon me. 12 United States Code, subsection 83. Loans by bank on its own stock. Pay close attention now. You might miss it. General prohibition. General prohibition. No national bank shall make any loan or discount on the security of the shares of its own capital stock. Exclusion. For purposes of this section, a national bank shall not be deemed to be making a loan or discount on the security of the shares of its own capital stock if it acquires the stock to prevent loss upon a debt previously contracted for in good faith. Short subsection, but it says a lot because it also talks about how the transaction even transpired in the first place. What do I mean? The bank didn't front you anything. It says it in the subsection, but it also says if it acquires the stock to prevent loss, which is the promissory note that was monetized. It's right there in the details, and it's in your actual contract, people. It's in your contract. You must read it with a fine-tooth comb, because if you understand what I'm saying now, the devil is in the details. Straight up. So now, how is this fraud? Let us go according to the law and not according to what Lord Enlightened Luciferian Print 7.7 says. Securities fraud, as defined in 15 United States Code, subsection 78C10. Failure to disclose that the promissory note is a security. I just said this, people. It is not a promissory note. A promissory note cannot exceed the lifespan of 9 months. Failure to disclose the promissory note is not a note, but a security, constituting lack of full disclosure required by the Truth in Lending Act, which gives an individual the right to signature rescission. Failure to disclose is constructive fraud, and fraud violates all contracts. Fancy legal terminology, legalese, to say void, right? The National Bank Act specifically states that national banks and subsidiary mortgage companies cannot hold a note, period. Securitization of an individual's promissory note is constructive fraud, fraud by conversion, actual fraud, and identity theft. Title 18, subsections 472, 473, 493, 494, and 513 is making, selling, uttering, possessing, publishing as true, altering, forging, or falsifying as true any note, document, a security is with criminal intent, each with 10 to 20 years in prison and or fines, knowledgeable, willful, intent to defraud, fraud in factum, and the basis for 200 times penalty. Pacific Mutual Life Insurance Company versus Halip, 499 United States 1, 1991. Admitted guilt regarding Title 18, subsections 472, 473, 493, 494, and 513 crime. So people, if you're dealing with a foreclosure, if you're dealing with any type of non-judiciary so-called sale, you must do 3 key elements. 3, rescind your signature. Let it be put on record in the actual, the land records office in the county in which you live, in which you actually reside, that you attach these affidavits also to it, right? And these statements of fact. And you also deny that the loan exists. If you do not deny that the loan exists by affidavit standards, guess what? You submit to the unseen laws of the contract. In other words, they can now proceed against you because you have not rebutted to the positive. Okay? You defaulted, and that's what they're waiting on. What you need to do is make them default. I don't care if you're headed to a foreclosure. I don't care if you're in one. You must combat at every angle. But you must point out the main instance of the contract, which is fraud. And that's in less than 11 minutes. It is just that simple, people. They cannot loan you anything. You must make that clear. Whenever they say they're collecting on a debt, they are nothing. They're perpetuating. They're doing nothing more than perpetuating the fraud. And you believing it and not combating it is your problem. I just read to you the law. That's what it says. You had a promissory note. They extended it to you. And what you must do is be your own forensic investigator in regards to them acquiescing in knowing that particularly that they committed fraud. Now, as far as the contract is concerned, this is where I like to play in the realm of speculation. And I'm using me as an example. Whenever you have these things, whoever extended you the contract in the first place, you get on their ass. See, it's easy to file a lawsuit against a corporation because guess what? The courts have them back because they're an LLC, right? The courts have them back because they're an LLC, limited liability corporation, acts and omissions of certain things within regards to commercial behavior, otherwise regulated because they are insured. That keeps their private assets safe. But let's talk about this fraudulent bitch that basically extended you this contract. Okay? Let's talk about them. See, what you need to do is whoever extended you that contract, whoever that real estate agent is, you make them liable first. So you got to hit the motherfucking nail on the head. You don't believe me, do you? My wife just literally sent off documentation for me today in regards to certain instances. I put people on notice. Because according to you taking something from me in regards to making you think that I'm the liable party, I tell you what, it's my dream to put motherfuckers in jail. For real. It's my dream to put them in jail. Because I have all the evidence necessary by your silence to put a police report on your ass and put your bitch ass in jail. That goes for the real estate agent or anybody who loans you a contract. You think I'm lying? I will send you to jail. Off the muscle. If you don't correct this within 10 days, I will send your ass to jail. Your company does not protect you against the fraud because you took it out upon yourself to initiate this contract. And then what you did was you went in collusion with a third party who I didn't have a contract with, or who I didn't negotiate anything with, and you acted on my behalf because you altered my signature. That's forgery, bitch. Last time I checked, once you find a material to your interest to find out, it'll be your dream to put them bitches in jail. I mean that. Y'all think I'm playing. When I sent this documentation off today, as of the 24th, I am going to the prosecutor's office in the state in which I reside, and I'm letting them know you're going to jail. Period. I have all the evidence I need, but you must first get a police report. Yes, people, you must get a police report. That is the prerequisite. When you are wronged, fear doesn't no longer live here. Okay? It is not the police department's discretion to ask you who, what, why, where, when. They're just there to make a report. And what I will tell you is let your documentation speak for you. Say less, say enough to get the report, and take it to the prosecutor's office. Once it becomes legal, now you have to take it in consideration. A debt must be repaid. It's no longer on me because I'm placing the liability on the responsible party. And you know who I'm talking to. You people that's watching this channel and watching this video, you know exactly who you need to be talking to, because I'm saying this for general purposes only. So don't take this shit lightly, because they don't mind if they put you on the street. They don't mind if they repossess your car. They don't mind if they fuck around and mess up your credit based upon these fraudulent contracts. The question is, at the end of the day, is are you going to keep fucking letting them? Because as I say in conclusion, it's my dream to put motherfuckers in jail. Period. If you don't step up, you will be the liable party, and you will be the individual at the end of the contract with nothing to show for you because you let somebody else defraud you. Step the fuck up. Understand that you must take back your responsibility and your power, and stop feeling so goddamn sorry for yourself. Once you actually tap into the law, you understand that you've been defrauded. It is now your responsibility to recoup what you've lost. It's your duty. And I say it again, to put a motherfucker in jail. See, I think a lot of people, especially people who are in my age range or older, you must understand the first biggest of the turn of the century, the biggest situation that people really paid little to no attention to, because it wasn't even in the public education sector, because we didn't have the widespread social media and so forth. It was just mainstream media, bird feeding, the societal bullshit, the norm, is Enron. Enron, if you remember Enron, people, you remember Enron. That was the first biggest public, openly admitted securities fraud scandal with Bernie Madoff. You know, he died a little minute ago, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in my age range or whatever the case would be, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where this man was literally trading securities, I'm talking about hand over fist, billions of dollars. You see what I'm saying? And I'm talking about literally. Do your research on it. I remember it like from the media standpoint, but as I got older and I researched, I realized that this was what it was. Now you understand that situation that happened back in 2008 when they had the mortgage crisis, people. Who were the first people they bailed out? Banks. Now you understand why. They said, fuck the people. You know what I'm saying? You think they won't do that shit again? We better sharpen up. You better wisen up. When all of those well-to-do, middle-class individuals, irrespective of nationality, color, race, creed, origin, whatever the fuck, when they all were living in their little bubble of the American dream, that shit surely came crashing down. And now you see why they bailed out the bankers first. Because they never used their assets, people. They had to make up for all of the bad securities that they knew was in deficit because they were banking on the people going into default. Y'all want that shit to happen again? Keep letting these people take y'all to court thinking they can take your property, instead of putting their ass on Front Street and say, hey, that's mine, and stand up for that shit. Other than that, I'll tell you what, it's a cold motherfucking winter, people. Straight up. But hey, who am I? I'm just a guy that likes to read. So with that being said, people, don't take my word for it. Like I said, I would never tell nobody to do something I wouldn't do myself. Simple as that. Get on these folks' ass. Don't ever take the liability when you know you're the creditor. You don't have to be an SPC. I suggest you become one now that you understand what securities really are. I suggest you get it on that as soon as possible. But you don't have to be an SPC to know that you've been wronged. That's what I'm really saying. So for future generations and future viewers who view this content, I suggest you get on your path of becoming a secure party creditor, protecting your intangible assets, protecting yourself. Because in commerce, it's a war system. You better get your motherfucking shit together and really get on game, because these people are going to keep doing this until it takes enough people to stand the fuck up and say, fuck you. I know what's up. And you must do it under legal execution. That is the only way. And once you also get other third parties involved, you know, mainly I said it in previous videos, get the IRS involved with the motherfuckers. Every entity that you do business with, every real estate business, you now know that you can file a claim with the IRS for identity theft. You better go look it up. You better go ahead and do everything you need to do to protect yourself. Because I can tell you what, the people that extended you that contract made sure that they're going to protect themselves. Get on your shit, period. If you need to consult with me in a consultation, please do know that fees do apply. Serious. I'm just being the honest one to say this. That is me. That's how I am on my channel, because it's time that you're taking from me to help you with your problem. As far as the information is current, I don't care less. But my time is very valuable. But I'm just letting you know these are the things that are necessary for you to do what you need to do to redeem yourself from this commercial beast system. Other than that, you can cut this video off and act like anything I said on this channel don't mean shit. And go back to La La Land with the rest of the NPCs. But until then, y'all stay tuned to the next upload. It is what it is, people. I only give you the truth. And nothing more. Nothing less. Peace, light, love. Y'all take care. Ages, man, fuck you. I'll see y'all soon. Take care.